Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today I'm at the Craggy Gardens picnic area on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it is gorgeous. I absolutely love everything about this. I love the weather. I love the fact that it's not busy right now. This is a Thursday around, I don't know, it's a little afternoon, and it's just so peaceful here. And this is what I love. The temperature is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which feels cool compared to the temperatures we've had this summer. There's like almost no humidity at all. It really feels like fall. It feels like the beginning of fall. And you can tell that the leaves are starting to change up here at this altitude. This site's only about 3 miles as a crow flies from my QTH, but there's about probably a 2,000 foot elevation change. So I'm at 3,300. Yeah, and this is almost 5,300. So it's their leaves are starting to change a little bit more than ours are. But golly, it's gorgeous. I love this. This is bliss for me. I'm so glad I made the little trip up here today. I had some time today in the middle of the day, and it's almost a treat to come up here to Craggy Gardens. Even though it's not that far away, it's almost a treat to come up here. We tend to come up here as a family, and but my family's everybody's in different spots today, so nobody's with me. Not even Hazel's with me today. Although, admittedly, had I known I was coming up here, I probably would have taken her out with me today. I've already been up here, and I just went to the very top picnic table just because I wanted to, really. No other reason. It's just such a nice view and just so pleasant up here. Oh, it's wonderful. So this will be a little different today. Get the tripod out here on the camera. I want to try a different radio antenna combination than I've tried before, but I realized before I left I didn't check something, and so I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to have to find out together. And I haven't had lunch yet, and I'm hungry. Let's see what time it is, actually. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I thought it was like 12:30. It's 1 o'clock. And I decided I'd just bring my little stove out and just heat up some soup. And instead of making it from scratch or something, I don't have enough time to do that. I popped by the French Broad Food Co-op in downtown Asheville when I was passing by there, and picked up some chicken noodle soup. Pretty simple. So I just thought I'd heat that up here. I'm not going to show all of this, of course. You don't need to see me heating up all of my soup. I'll do the eating of the soup off camera. I don't think that'll make for a very nice video, hearing me eat. I'm going to use my new to me little stove kit. It's actually not too windy today. I might forego putting on the windscreen. I'm going to pull this down. The thing about this little Snow Peak stove is that the handle needs to be tightened, and it puts it in an awkward position. It needs to be tightened before you screw this on. There we go. And should I I'll put on the windscreen. You know, it is a little bit windy here. This is always kind of tricky. I'm getting used to doing this. You know, before I forget, I need to take a couple of photos. I'll try to include everything in my field reports, which is the reason I take so many photos. Frankly, it reminds me later on, if I'm doing my report kind of far out from when I actually did the activation, it kind of reminds me what I did and the components I had and everything like that. I linked to all this stuff in my field report on QRP.com, and if you want to link to that, just look in the description below here in the video. This is a little bit of a puzzle to get this on. You have to have those things lined up just right. There we go. Oh, I didn't put it on the right way though. So because of the particular stove I have to make sure that this hole here lines up properly. There we go. And then I pull those out all the way. That looks like it is sitting properly. It looks good. Is that good? Yeah, that's sitting properly. That's just the windscreen. It is a little breezy out here, so we'll get this going now. There we go. This has a built-in lighter on it, which is one of the things I really love about this. Now what I'll do is just simply pour this soup, hopefully without making too big of a mess. They filled it to the top in this cup, though. I gotta admit, it might be challenging not to make a mess here, but we'll try. Move this stuff out of the way. Here we go. Let's pour this into the pot. This little pot mug, whatever you want to call it. Boy, it's going to be hard not to spill this. There we go. I'll take off the rest of this. Looks pretty good. I decided to do this today instead of... Okay, this will be for the birds. I kind of smashed that a little too much. I decided to do this instead of getting a wrap or something like that. I just thought I'd just make a little something. And like I said, I'm going to try to figure out a way that I can get together some freeze-dried components to make this a little easier when I want to have some homemade soup on the go. So here we go. Here's the whole kit. I'll turn this up. Just bring this up to a boil. It'll take a little while because this soup is really cold. Also got my, I carry with me everywhere. Well, I carry this big knife. This is an Opinel knife. I carry it because when I'm traveling and if I'm cooking, I like to have, actually this is my serrated one, I have one that's not serrated as well in here. I like to have a really large knife, and I find that if I'm staying in a condo or something like that, usually the knives are no good, so I bring my own knives. I'm a little snobby that way. This is my other one, actually, other Opinel knife that's not serrated. And this is big enough, like I can cut a watermelon or something with it. Yeah, works really well. So they're the same size, actually. Did I, you may not have been able to see that very easily in the video. Unlock that. So they're the same size, but one is serrated, the other is not. I also have an Opinel peeler they use for peeling vegetables and fruit and stuff when I need to. But this is actually what I was digging for. I don't even know who makes this. Light My Fire makes it, okay? And it's a titanium, it's basically like a fork and a spoon instead of a spork. And this works really, really well for soups. I find that sporks sometimes just don't work very well for soups. I carry this with me all the time because, sometimes I'll go out and I'll get a salad or something like that from someplace, and then I don't want to use one of their cheap plastic forks. I'd rather use my own fork. And so it goes with me everywhere. It goes in my EDC pack. I have it all the time. Let's talk a little bit about, while this is heating up, I'll try not to burn it. One of the things about these little backpacker stoves is they kind of concentrate the heat in the bottom and the middle. And sometimes if you're not careful, you can burn stuff doing that. But the radio I want to use today is one of my favorite in the world. It is the Elecraft KX1. I love this radio so much. It's hard to describe my love for this radio. There have been sonnets and poems written about this. I love this radio. So I have 3 of them, I think. Anyway, let's take the camera down here for a second. So the deal is, I want to use my KX1 with my AX1 antenna. I've never done that for some reason. I don't know why, to be honest, but I've never done it. And I was just speaking with my buddy Joshua, N5FY. We were just chatting on text. And I said, you know, I need to check out the AX1 on the KX1 sometime. And he said, you mean you've never done that? I was like, yeah, it makes no sense to me. I've used the AX1 on like 100,000 other radios. Well, a handful of other radios that were never designed for the AX1 antenna. And I've used it on them. Why haven't I used it on my, KX1? It doesn't make any sense at all. Stir this just a little bit. There we go. And sorry, I just had to stir that soup a little bit. And so what I did was I just packed the radio and packed my AX1 in here. And it wasn't until I got here on the site just a moment ago, I thought, there was one thing I was going to grab before I left. And that is, I have a little clamp with an alligator clip on it that can clamp onto the BNC, the outside of the BNC here. Because when I attach the AX1, I also need to be able to attach a counterpoise. And to be honest, I haven't looked through the manual or anything. My internet service up here is not good enough. I can download the manual right now. But there's not really a grounding point on here other than these 2 thumb screws on the bottom. These are conductive, I'm pretty darn sure. But I don't know if it'll actually be a good counterpoise point. But fortunately, in the car, I usually carry a little tiny multi-tester. It's a really, really small one. And it's just for things like this. When I'm out in the field and I need to diagnose something really quickly. I actually have used, to be honest, it's funny, I use it more than I use my regular multi-tester because it's with me all the time. It's usually there in the car or something. So I'm stirring my soup here. And so basically, I need to check the continuity and see if one of these will actually act as a ground. So all I need to do is really check the continuity between this and this. And so let's get this out. This is it. It's just a little cheap. These are really small, cheap. I've had this probably 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year. I can't remember. And it runs on a little AAA battery. It's a pain to take the AAA battery out because there's not like a door you can open. You have to unscrew these. And so always keep a spare AAA battery with it. But inside, it's kind of funny. It's just like a little multi-tester. And I think it works really well. I mean, it does what I need. I don't need something super precise. Again, what I use more than anything else is just checking continuity and things like that. So let's do that right now. Let's check the continuity of this lug, little thumb screw, and see if that actually is. So like when I test this, yes, it's working. So, I don't want to scratch this. Let me put this down. And on its face here. And what I'll do is check, put one of these on the outside of the BNC and touch this. And yes. Good. There's continuity. See, there's not here because there's a coating. This has got a coating on it. I'm sure Elecraft did that on purpose. These are probably purposely like they are so that you have a good grounding point on them. Cool. Okay, that answers my question. Because if you don't have a counterpoise, the thing's just like hardly efficient at all. And I should add here, I don't actually know if the AX1's going to work with the KX1. Because the AX1 really does rely on a decent antenna tuner to finish off the match. And the KX2 and KX3 have a very wide range, superb antenna tuner. The KX1 has a very basic antenna tuner. It's really not meant, it was never designed for the AX1. Oh, that's my cue, I think. Yeah, it's foiling nicely, so I'll turn this off. There we go. You can see here. So that answers my question. So you know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to let my soup cool off. I was checking to make sure I don't have to worry about this hurting the picnic table. There we go. So I'll let my soup cool off just a little bit. I'll eat that and set up the radio and everything. And hopefully the AX1 will work. But what I was going to say is, like, again, I really don't know. I've never tried this. I've never tested it. We're doing it here together for the first time. I have a backup, though. If this doesn't work, I can just pull out my KX2. I've got it in the car. In fact, I've got the KX3 in the car, too. I've got the whole KX lineup. So if this doesn't work, it's not a problem. I can still do my activation with the KX2. I just want to see if it'll work. I know that I'm pretty sure that I can hook up the AX1 and use a little bipod with its feet out really wide. And I'm pretty sure that that'll work just fine. The bipod should be able to adjust to that, no problem at all. And now that I can hook the counterpoise onto this, then that part works really well. It's just, does this ATU in here have enough matching range to actually find a match? May take a little bit of playing around with the counterpoise. I'm going to start on 20 meters today. It's the time of day for 20 meters, so that's the reason I'm going to do that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, you ought to, if you don't have one of these, you ought to have it. It's funny because I was just listening to Fraser, and Fraser, I cannot remember your call sign right now. If I can think to do it, I'll link to his video about this if I can find it. Fraser, he's in Scotland, and he was talking about his EDC pack recently, and I really liked it. Like just what he carries with him, and it's really simple, you know, no fuss, no muss sort of thing. Just literally the essentials of what you need, and that's really what an EDC should be. Just the things you need, really nothing more, for just everyday stuff. And he kind of made a point saying, you know, I don't really carry a multimeter with me to the field, because if something's going on and I get to the site and there's an issue with the radio, I'm not going to pull out a multi-tester and start fixing it in the field. I just went out and had a good day for a hike. And I actually agree with him on that. I would not take this on a soda hike or anything like that. But I do keep it in the car. So when I'm doing something like POTA, it's not a big deal for me to go grab it and check things. In fact, I use this so much, like, golly, just, I mean, like household projects and stuff when I'm visiting my parents, you know, little things like that. That's when I use this more than anything else. Test voltage and mainly test continuity and voltage. Those are the two things I do more than anything else with this, and it doesn't have to be really precise. But I like this. It's small. It can fit in your glove compartment. I don't keep it in my glove compartment. I keep it in this little bag here, which has just a few other little things, and it also has like a wire stripper knife. It has a voltage, basically where I can test the voltage of my batteries in line. I've got the bit kit for my Leatherman signal tool that I carry on me all the time. So the bit kit's in here, so if I need some particular bits, like you know, like a really small bit or hex or whatever, it's going to be in that bit kit probably. So anyway, I keep this in this, I keep it in my, what's it called? Blue Ridge Outdoor, is it their EDC pack? I can't think of the name of it now, but I actually did a video about it. And these little pouches, and there are 3 of them on one side and 2 long ones on the other side, they're always in there, and they stay in my car, and it has all the extra stuff I need, you know, for an activation, mainly like extra things. So if I decide to build something or do something, that's going to be in there. So that's where that came from. Now, I am going to eat, and then we'll come back, hook up the antenna, hook up everything, and be ready to go. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, I'm back now. Actually moved to the other side of the picnic table here. Just, it gives me a little bit more flexibility with the camera, but man, that soup really hit the spot. Really did. It just makes it like that much more like autumn. Okay, let's get everything out here. Oh, yeah, another thing I'm trying today is this is my new Bengali adventure paddle that I bought from a friend. When I bought it from him, he had a KX2 / KX3 and a KX1 mount. I think it's because this paddle is vintage. Well, it's of the 2014 vintage, which I guess the KX1 was still very much a thing then, being sold. I mean, you may still be able to get these from Bengali. So I haven't tried this yet. This will be the first time. It's got an interesting little mount here. Lots of firsts at this activation. Let's see here. I have to figure out what kind of angle I want this to be on. We'll try this first and see. And plug it in here. The cord's a little long for this, but not bad. Let's see, is that going to be, that's going to be good, I think. Does it hold it up enough off the ground, or off the table? Yes, it does. Excellent. Okay, now, like I said, I'm trying not to get my hopes up, because there's a really decent chance that this ATU won't be able to match this, unfortunately, but I'll be very happy if it does, because this will make a really nice, viable, portable kit. I can put my EDC pack. That would make me very happy. So all I'm going to do is connect the ground lug, or the counterpoise, to the frame here really tightly. There we go. Or to the bottom of the chassis. On the thumb screw. There we go. Now let's move the counterpoise off here. I'm just going to put it off to the side. Stretch this out. Oops, move it up a little bit. There we go. Stuff it out here on the ground a little bit. And I'll be ready to move that around a little bit. If I don't immediately get a match of any sort of acceptable match, I can just move that. Oops. Tripod caught up here. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, now let's assemble the AX1. What I'm going to do is just pop this guy on. Then move the bipod legs out pretty darn wide. Let's see here. Yeah. Oops. I'm taking my precious time with this. Okay. Feels very stable. This is the 40-meter coil. I don't need that right now, but I may take it later. So let's just hook up the telescoping whip here. And then extend it. I do it carefully, one at a time. Make sure every bit of this, every section goes out, because it's only like 4 feet, 5 feet tall or something. 4 feet, I think. Pretty darn small. And let's get back down here. Try to move this around again. These concrete picnic table legs are unforgiving. Okay. Oh, I need a power source. Now, I actually have some little AA batteries inside the KX1, but I'm going to use a Bioenno 3 amp hour battery this time. and just use that for powering it. The little lithium-ion batteries I have in there really don't go for very long. I'm trying to find a better solution for my KX1, but this will have to do for now. There we go. Set this over here. And, oh yes, important. I need to actually hook up a speaker to this because KX1 has no speaker, and I'd either have to do this with my headphones into a separate digital recorder, which I don't really want to do. It's kind of a pain for me to do it. Let me turn on the speaker. And this kind of changes, you know, how I'm doing this because that's coming off that side. And I need to have my hand here and I don't want that cord in the way. So maybe what I'll do is just move the speaker. I think you'll be able to hear the speaker okay, even if it's, well, I don't want it on top of the counterpoise. We'll do it this way. This ought to be okay. Yeah, this will work. This will work. Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, RF gain's up. Let me make sure I'm on the 14, okay, yep, 14 megahertz, 14062.5. Now I need to make sure that the ATU is engaged by going down to ATU. Nope, it's not engaged. Now it is. I had a hunch last time I used it I was using a resonant antenna. So here we go. Let me make sure this is switched. It's not switched to 20 meters. And then cross our fingers. .2. I may run it with that. 2.2 again. Let me maneuver the counterpoise around a little bit. Let's try it again. .6. I will go with that. So that's good. That's good. Okay. That'll be fine. I'm running 3 watts of power into the AX1. I mean, it's nothing the KX1 can't handle. Okay, let's set up the logs here. Also set up my logs on hammers a little earlier. And let's set these up. Okay, 3378, the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. And today is the 28th of September 2023. And this is the KX1 AX1. 20 meters CW. And the time, let me go ahead and get my phone here. Oh yeah, I have to turn off my phone completely when I use this. It does. Sometimes the battery, and you'll hear like my phone noise from in this, so we'll have to turn that off. So I have to make sure I take some photos now. And I don't really need to be hooked up to the internet during this time. So I'm going to put this in airplane mode, which should help. There we go. Okay, now hammers. And click on this, and it already shows 1 entry because I put KX1 in there just as a placeholder. Now, let's see. Let's try to start this activation. I have no clue what conditions are like today, by the way. me go down to menu to play. There we go. Okay, let's hope this works. What could go wrong running 3 watts into such a small antenna, right? I did announce my activation, so hopefully, or scheduled it on the POTA website, so hopefully the reverse beacon network will pick me up and then it'll connect with the POTA website and auto spot me. If not, then I'll turn my cell phone power back on, try to load the page, and spot myself. I think I have just enough internet coverage here to load the POTA page. I've just got this on repeat. Yeah, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and take a photo, a close-up of the radio. Okay, wait, let's see. Oh, there we go, yeah. came up to. I love this radio. Oh, love this radio. Hey, gotcha. Okay, I'll get you next. It always feels good hearing the Roger after that. Well, that was a really nice little run of 7 contacts. Very good. I'm running the filter even a little wider open than I had it. Come on, let's get some more. I've got a lot of time today. Well, not a lot. I will have to go pick up my daughters in a little bit, but should have enough to complete this activation. Sorry to interrupt you there. I forgot I had it on repeat. So one more and I have a valid activation, so I'm going to hang around until that happens for sure. I don't know if I'll actually operate on 40 meters, but I want to see if 40 meters would work on this. It's probably the next closest in terms of 10 meters. This will also do 10 meters and 17 meters. Well, this doesn't have, the KX1 doesn't have 17 meters on it. So really I have 40, 30, and 20 that I can work on this antenna. 30 would probably need a capacity hat or something to help bring the impedance down a little bit, or within range of the ATU. And I will pack a capacity hat with this. 40 meters with the coil, maybe a little closer to resonant, I don't know. We'll see. It's not like 40 meters is a really, really good band this time of day, though, to be honest. But it'll be fun to see if I can just get it to tune up. I will have to take out this counterpoise and put in the much longer counterpoise for 40 meters. can tell that the band's not in wonderful shape, and you know how I can tell? So when you're operating with the AX1, yeah, your signal on their end is probably going to be a little lower than it would be with a in-fed half-wave or something, of course. But on this end, I find that there's not really much of a difference. You know, like a strong signal is going to be strong and a weak signal is probably still going to be weak. Yes, a weak signal may be slightly stronger with a, better antenna, of course, but in general, most... I'll be back to that in just a second. But so what I was saying is that most of the time that you're operating with the AX1, the other stations are roughly going to be about the signal level they normally are. Yes, slightly lower with a smaller antenna, and less gain, but overall that picture, that difference between the sort of lower S signals, so like the like my S5s and S2s and things like that, there are a lot more of these. From my end that I'm sending, I'm finding I'm sending a lot more 5x5s or 559s, 529s, and very few 599s. Maybe I've only sent that once or so. And normally I'd hear more than that. And so everybody sounds a little quieter today. We'll stop here in a second. And I've got my 10. And I feel confident with those. I don't feel like I need any extra. I do want to see if I may be able to get this to work on 40 meters. In fact, I'm going to stop it right now and see where I have it with A2, because I accidentally 2.3. It's a little higher than it was, and it's because I accidentally just kicked the counterpoise. This is a good time to because I want to do a little more experimenting before I call it quits today. So here we go. Let's turn that off. This was more about testing this kit. I want to see if this works, and it looks like at least 20 meters really works. I should try this with the AX2 antenna as well. So 2 things I have to change. I'm just going to have to pull this whole AX1 antenna down right now. Sorry, if it's up here for you. I don't want to go home. I love this up here. I mean, I gotta admit, our home's pretty nice. We live in a really pretty area, and it's more wooded than this, so I do love that. But it's just so beautiful up here. Okay, so let's take off this counterpoise, and we'll put on the 33-foot counterpoise. I put the bag back in here. Where did I put it? Nope, that's not it. I've been keeping them in these little poly bags that Elecraft, sent along with the AX1 antenna, because I just find they're kind of handy to use. This is the much longer 33-foot one. I will be super impressed if this tunes 40 meters here. So keep in mind, our output power there was only about 3 watts max, something like that. Let me get up real quick. I'm just going to toss this wire down this way, and I'll stretch it out here after I hook it up. Make sure it gets a really nice solid connection here. There we go, that's good. Okay. Let me pull the camera up so you can see. Not that there's much to see here, but I'm trying to include what I do. So I'm just gonna, this has a lot of memory in it. This line has a lot of memory up, so I'm gonna kind of stretch it out here and put it straight down. I've got these sleeves on today, but I'm not really in the sun enough to really warrant it. But I do like to cover my arms. Let's see, I'll put my hat back on now. The sun's coming out over me as I say that. Okay, here we go. Let's grab this. We'll put the extension on. I haven't actually used the AX1 extension in quite a while. Whoops, wrong way. That's how long it's been. It's actually quite a long travel in that. And I'll go ahead and put the whip on top. We'll be crossing our fingers here. I'd like to see it work. Really like it to work. Because it'd be awfully fun to have 40 meter access on such a small little antenna. So all I'm going to do now is extend the whip here, section by section, up again carefully. Now, I actually can say that, you know, can I use this with the KX1? 100% all the time with any of the bands, because I could always just bring in my T1 antenna tuner. My buddy Joshua N5FY made a little, like a little 3D printed tripod thing that I could probably make work with this and just not have it directly connected to the radio. And I could just do my ground from the radio still, it doesn't matter. And I'd be cooking with gas because the T1 has a much better antenna tuner in it. But it's kind of nice when you don't have to bring any extra stuff with you to make something work. So we're going to go for this. Okay, here we go. Let's turn this back on. And let's change bands. That's 7 meters, 7 megahertz, 40 meters. Here we go. I don't know if you can see this or not. I may have to just tell you what it's doing here. It's a little hard to see this. Yes! Oh my gosh! It's a 1-to-1. Holy cow! Wow! Or 1.1 to 1. That's excellent. Let's see if we can actually make a contact with 3 watts on this antenna. Make sure I go in here and change it to 40 meters with the hopes that I can actually get somebody. And you know what? I may hop online long enough to contact my buddies Mike and Eric so they know that I'm on. Let's see, let me do that. So you're probably going to hear a bunch of phone noise start up here on the radio. There it goes. Okay, 3378 and 7061.5 I think is what I had. Let me double check. I pressed the band button once. 7061.5. Oh, it's not delivering it. Come on. It's trying. Can we get through that time? Okay. Oh, LED. Play. There we go. There's a little chipmunk running out in front of me. This whole time I've been activating. Okay. Ooh, that was loud. I've got my filter almost wide open here, actually. There's nobody really close by, and I kind of like the sound of it better. Again, we have to be realistic here. We're operating 3 watts into a little tiny antenna, 40 meters, middle of the day. This is not going to be the most productive band today. I can tell you now. But it'd be fun to make at least 1 or 2 contacts, wouldn't it? In a couple weeks, this place will be so busy because it'll be in the middle of leaf season. This little chipmunk is just going back and forth and grabbing 1 acorn at a time. I do need to tighten the little thumb screw that holds the key on, but I don't want to have to move my whole radio. Okay. Sorry I didn't get that. Yay! Oh, you came up to 5.9 now. Good to get you in vlogs again. Oh, nice, South Carolina. Is that in? Nice. I really do need to tighten that thing. But I don't want to do it with all this. This is the problem with everything hooked up to it right now, is it's hard to get in there to do it. So I got 13 contacts, 3 so far on 40 meters, and 2 in West Virginia. That is not a state that I get as often as I'd like. These shadows are so strong, I'm trying to take some photos. I'm gonna pack up here in a second though. But first I'll probably see if I can tune up to 30 meters. I doubt I can. I think that's going to be a little too much of a reach for this ATU. That's not somebody calling me, by the way. That is, that's because I got the filter so wide right now. So let's see, what are we on? We are on 10.115. 10.115. I can't remember. I think I leave this in the 40 meter position. We'll see. We'll see. I can't remember. Let's see if I can get a match. This is just for experimenting. Three 3.3 to 1. Not that great. I could use that in emergency. 3.3 to 1. Okay, let's try it with it in the 17 meter switch position. $1.8 to 1. What? You're kidding me. 3 to 1. You can tell it's a little fickle. 1.8 to 1. This tells me that I probably could easily keep that a little bit below by changing the moving around the counterpoise a little bit. So it's a little more fickle. And that's because the ATU in here just doesn't have that matching range of these KX, the other KX series. This was, I think this radio came out in like 2002 or 3 or something, before Elecraft was making, you know, the phenomenal ATUs it's making now. Oh my goodness, this was so much fun. I really, really love this radio. It doesn't have the performance of the KX2 or the KX3. You know, I love the audio though. The audio to me sounds like a little analog sounding. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is really more like almost sounds like a tube radio sometimes. It's got a really nice warm sound to it. It is true that I do run the filter pretty wide open because I like that sound. If we had close-in stations, then I wouldn't do that. Yeah, here's what I need to do. I really need to reseat this to keep it, you know, more stable. But, you know, I'll leave it on here. Maybe I'll use this again next time I go out. Let's see. Let's unplug the headphones, unplug the key, and then undo this. And for those of you, like I mentioned this in the past video, I think that when I had the KX2, maybe with this key, this is a really expensive key. This is a Bengali Adventure. It's very expensive key, but I've had so many people brag about how incredible this key is, and a friend of mine He bought this in 2013, I think, and along with, like I said, the KX1 and the KX2 mount. And he sold it to me for just an incredible price because he wants to support me, frankly. And so he could have gotten way more than this if he'd have just put it on QTH or something. And very grateful he did. This is a really wonderful key, and I'm enjoying using it. Couldn't be more pleased. Plus, I love Bengali stuff. I love that family. They're amazing. Let's go ahead and put this stuff up. I bet you don't got a long video, do I? I'll try to look. I'm only at 47 minutes. That's because I edited out eating the soup. Which I'll always do, by the way. This will not be one of the channels where I'm sitting there eating on the channel the whole time. No one wants to hear me slurp soup. So yeah, like I said, I do have some AA's in here right now. And for that reason, I can turn this on. I can turn on the KX1. I probably could have operated for 15 minutes with those batteries in there. And I kind of keep them in there as really just kind of like a backup sort of thing with this counterpoise. There's sort of a better antenna to pair with the KX1 is a good random wire antenna. Of course, an in-fed half wave or something like that. You get 20 and 40 on it. Here we go. Whoops, there we go. And let's put this in its bag. I really appreciate you joining me today. This has been such a peaceful activation. I kind of half expected a bigger crowd up here. Frankly, I thought there'd probably be 3 or 4 other people, you know, on the picnic tables, which was not bad. This is a big park; they can handle that, no problem. But it's been really super quiet, and if I'm being honest, I like that. I like to see parks being used, you know, by the public. I think it's a good thing. I also like my quiet time. It's a really nice thing for me. It's a bigger battery than it's needed. You know what? I'm going to put this in my other pack instead of putting it in here with the KX1. I got to pack up a few things. I need to take my pot down here to the restroom area and give it a nice clean out since it had the soup in it. And I'll take it home and finish cleaning it. Oops, forgot to put up my pad here. There we go. Stick it in here as well. Okay, I'm very happy to know that I'm sure that with I'll just carry a little capacity hat with me. And I should be able to match that any time because it can almost do it on its own. I got a good match on 40, got a decent match on 30. 1.8's a decent match for the radio. It can handle that, no problem. 2.2 is not bad too. It would run on that. I don't think it'd be a problem at all. I may ask Wayne and Eric at Elecraft sometime, you know, would it be a big deal for the KX1? I don't think it would be. I think the KX1's robust enough. This one has not been modded to... Some people back in the day, there were mods you could do to the radio to really crank up the power on it so that you could get like almost a full 5 watts out. People feel like they have to have a full 5 watts. I don't think it's necessary for parks on the air, summits on the air and things. It's just not necessary. This was 3 watts. I wouldn't have necessarily known I was running 5 watts or not. I think it makes a big difference, but for some people it did, and so they would do things to crank up the power. But you did that kind of at the expense of the finals. You know, it could wear out the finals a little earlier, for sure. Okay, what do I leave out and what do I put in? I'm gonna have to clean up this stuff. Oh, it's so wonderful out here. I know I've said that 100 times, but golly, this is what I live for right here. I live for this stuff. Unplug the battery from the camera. I plugged this in not knowing how long I'd be on here. This is just, I carry a really large battery pack with me. If I think about it, I'll link to this in my QRP report. I've been very, very pleased with this. This is a huge Anchor battery pack. It's the biggest one I've got. And it just goes on forever and ever. And it's great to take. It's heavy. You're definitely paying for it when you take it on like a soda hike or something like that. But on the plus side, I never have to worry about my phone or something going out. You know, if I'm using it for GPS, you know, to do my GPS, I don't have to worry about that at all when I am doing an activation, when I'm doing a hike. I can just plug it in and I've got like days worth of power on that. Plus I can recharge my headlamp with it if I needed to. Most of the time I carry one that's about half that size. Another Anchor pack, because I do like Anchor. Before I forget, I do want to take a picture of my pack here. Since it's the pack I use, it's really packed out right now. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, it's really packed out. It's not the most flattering picture of this. This is a GoRuck GR1, which is really a pack I love. I've had this pack a long time. I've done a lot of one-bag travel with it. I bought it on sale at GoRuck when they had a sale, right when they were moving a lot of their manufacturing, I think, to Vietnam. And they were selling off some of their not standard colors. And I got this one, and I love this bag. It's actually kind of perfect for one-bag travel because it's a decent pack. It has a lot of structure in it for being, I mean, this is a really strong pack. This will last a lifetime, and there's enough structure in it that you can really kind of pack it out, and it'll still fit in the little cages that they make in airports to kind of test to see if your backpack or your bag is compliant for being a personal carry-on. And this has always gone in all of the bag checkers that I've used. And that's one of the things I love about it. So I know if I pack it out, it's still going to make it, still going to be in there. And so I can throw a radio in there, throw my clothes in there, throw some toiletries, and I'm good to go for a week. I can easily do a week out of this, no problem. I like to do minimal travel, though. Oh, I love this. I don't want to leave. In fact, if I wish I had time, I have a 35-minute ride into town to pick up my daughters. And it's going to take me, and I have to pick them up here within about 45 minutes. So by the time I go wash out my cup here, I won't have time to do a hike. But there's a wonderful hike on the other side of the parking lot over there. Really pretty hike that connects up to some of the other trails. In fact, from this hike, you may even be able to go to Lane Pinnacle, which is a soda summit I've activated. I need to go back and activate that one soon, actually, before winter really kicks in. But it's just so nice here. I don't want to leave it. What I want to do is set up camp here. Just want to camp out. And this is making me think of the W4 Soda camp out, which is just in a few weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And in North Georgia. I hope the weather's something like this instead of hot. And I'll really have a good time there. Looking forward to seeing a lot of friends and doing a lot of soda. It'll be a lot of good fun. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Before I ramble on anymore, I better hop off here before I embarrass myself. And too late, Thomas, too late. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for your support. Those of you who support me on Patreon and the Coffee Fund, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And yeah. You never have to. Don't ever feel an obligation to support me. For real, if you are trying to buy your first radio or you got things going on in your life, don't worry about me. I'm going to survive just fine. It's just if you want to, if it's that value for value thing, if you get value out of what I'm doing here, it does directly affect my ability to do more of these videos. I do produce them quite frequently, and it does allow me to do that because it frees up my time to spend a little time to do this. But don't ever feel an obligation. My stuff's always going to be free. The really cool thing is if on Patreon, if you like to download and listen to videos later, like there are 0 ads on my Patreon platform because I use Vimeo. I pay for a Vimeo subscription. In fact, I just paid for it several $100s a year to do it. But I like it, and Patreon supporters directly pay for that. And it allows you to take one of these videos, for example, and you can just download it and watch it on your phone or something later. And there are no ads because it's not YouTube. YouTube has to monetize. This is Vimeo. I pay for it myself, or you pay for it. And so, you know, you can watch those with 0 ads of any sort. I don't have monetization turned on YouTube, but they still sometimes will roll ads before and after my video. So anyway, all my content will always be free. I don't want to lock it up or anything like that. Anyway, thank you again so much for joining me. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead. Hope you get a chance to go out and play a little bit of radio. And above all, be kind to one another. Take care, and 7 threes.